Hello, everyone. So I just got back from Emilia Perez, which is a musical. It's at TIFF, and it was weird. Okay. Now I do feel like I have a little bit more credibility talking about musicals because I've seen so many of them, unlike most movies. So what I will say about this movie is I think I was a little bit disappointed. I had expectations, obviously, that were very high for this movie, and I liked the casting. I knew it was a musical. I didn't know much about what it was going into it, though. Then I went into it, and I was wildly disappointed. And while wildly, they had very high expectations, but there were good moments. I think that the issue I had. So let's break this down a little bit. I'm just still trying to collect my thoughts a little bit, so this might be a little chaotic. Okay, so the first part of this is the musical pieces or the set pieces, right? So they would do the thing in the musicals where you stop and we have music going on, which is irrelevant to the story, and the dancing and all of whatever's happening during the movie. Right, but the cast doesn't, it's not part of the story, if that makes sense. So, there were points where it was a little bit messy. The other weird thing, and again, normally you don't see these kind of mistakes, and I found a little bit odd was the music itself or the lyrics for the music were not as clear as the sound. The lyrics are quieter than the music, which is a little bit weird because normally, again, you have when you do a musical, right? The balance of the lyrics and the sound is actually the most important part of the entire thing. And so having those weird moments where it just felt almost sloppy and put together, a little bit sloppily put together, it was very disappointing for a movie which I had such high expectations for. The other weird thing, and again, this movie just made a lot of these rookie mistakes, which was weird because again, it's it's a Netflix movie. It's not no budget, it's so that it's obviously a Spanish movie, right? And so subtitles are important part of the movie, right? When you're not an English speaking movie, right? It's important, and the subtitles were just poorly designed. And again, these are things where it's if it's an English movie and you're translating it to other languages, maybe just put on the subtitles, whatever. They were poorly, they were white, and it was white on white sometimes, and then you're wait a second, what? And that was the issue, I think, with this movie, was just there was all these, it kept stepping on itself, basically. And yeah, so it's just weird because when you have these, Spanish language movies, or and generally any other language movies, doing basic things like putting a damn outline on some of the captions, or putting them in, again, just stylizing them in a way where when you're watching the movie back, frankly, again, the reality when you're making a movie is you gotta make sure it can be understood by the majority of the world, right? And English is the majority language. Again, I think you should do it for every language. However, taking the care of saying, let's make sure it's easy, especially with music, right? Because when music's going fast, it's hard to, read the words. And when it's a musical and music matters significantly for the story and the words of the songs matter for the story, I actually think that making sure your subtitles are easy to read quickly is also very important. And I think that, again, when you have a movie which makes these errors, it hurts the experience of the movie for everybody. And again, it's unnecessary because it's an unforced error, right? It's not something which it was out of their control. It's a very easy thing to fix considering the time it takes to make a movie. The damn subtitle should be a very small portion of that, right? Even again, if it's putting them in a box or if it's doing whatever, right? Just because I think there were moments, again, where it's the subtitles on a white background and it's white lettering and, you can't read it, or, again, and then there were some aspects of this which were a little bit, it felt, again, a little bit sloppy, which was disappointing, but and again, I had high expectations, so I was kind of disappointed with the way it all rolled out in that sense. The other thing I was kind of disappointed by was the music, or not the music, sorry, the ending. The ending felt so, bad and rushed and, again, it was so weird. again, I don't often say a movie is too short, and I think there are ways you could have taken some stuff that wasn't necessary out. There, but or just not kind of finish the last kind of, I guess, little plot line. But the third act just felt so forced and unnecessary and like weird, because like they're really getting to some very, important stuff about society and about, doing some good and changing your life, and then it just goes, there's this weird spiral and like side story thing which becomes the entire focus, and I'm just like, I sat there and I actually was looking around the theater. Again, it's dark, but there were people who were like wildly, like, I was taken aback, just because it just felt so forced and rushed, and like that last little arc, like you could have made a great movie if you just cut out that last little arc. And one of the things that pisses me off about movies more so than anything else, outside of them being long or too long, is movies that have multiple endings. If you're gonna pretend to end a movie, then you better damn do it. And this is a movie that suffers from having multiple endings, and I think that hurts the movie. And I think, it's something which you have to be very careful about when you're making a movie, is to making sure you don't have that multiple ending syndrome, because that can be a problem. We see it, and it obviously is a factor now, where, where we see this and we see this multiple ending issue, and I think in reality, again, I just think they needed to be better at that. Zoe Saldana was fine. Selena Gomez was good. Again, outside of like the fact that she was directly involved in why this movie went off the rails at the end. But again, the performances were fine. I mean, the story will probably piss people off. It's a little bit uncomfortable, especially at the beginning. It's a little bit weird, and I think there's some things which people may not like. However, with that being said, obviously it's a movie and it's made up, and it's again, there's a whole, I'm sure there's gonna be people who will get very angry at the subject matter of the movie, but overall, again, the issues I had were more from a technical perspective, just because, again, it felt like there was just things, unforced errors which they made, and again, I just don't think you should be putting yourself in that position to make those kind of mistakes. So yeah. Anyways, with that being said, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share your thoughts. If you watched the movie, did you agree with me on some of my issues? Again, it was still a fine movie, whatever, but I would not rush to go see this one personally. I would probably just wait till it's on Netflix. But yeah, thank you all for watching. If you like this review, like, subscribe, comment, share your thoughts, follow us on social media, and of course, see you all next time.